welcome to this week's AMA. I'm going to give you a moment to look at the question. Okay, so what you want to remember about the geometry questions on both the SAT and the ACT is that there's only one time that they give you extraneous, extra, or unused information, right? And that's when maybe they give you the length or the measure of two different sides of a shape, but you only actually have to use one side to find, the answer to whatever the question is. Otherwise, you want to assume that you are going to use every piece of information that is given in the question, and that each piece of information takes you closer to what the answer is, right? So if we look at this question here, we see that the first piece of information is in the quadrilateral above. So they have on purpose not told you what kind this is. Doesn't mean that it isn't a particular kind. Maybe it's a rhombus, a parallelogram, a rectangle, a trapezoid. It's actually a trapezoid, but it's that they're not giving you that. If they had named it specifically, then you would know that all of the characteristics that go with that particular kind of quadrilateral is information that you can use. So it says AD is parallel to BC. So the key here is that if this line is parallel to this line, then if this right here is a right angle up here at C, then I could slide that guy over and he would be here. Now, why do I want to do that? Because in the end, I want to know what the measure of angle B is. And if I want to know what the measure of angle B, then any piece of information is going to help me. So if I know that this part right here is 90, well, then all I have to do is figure out what that part is right there, and I'll have the measure. So the next thing is, it's going to talk to us about some measures. So if this right here is, let's say, X, CD is X, then not only when I slid it over are the right angles going to appear at B and at C, but also the measure is going to be the same. Yeah, so we've created right angles and we have a same measure. So our next piece of information is that CD is equal to 1/2 of AB. So another way to think about that is, since we've said that X is CD, which means this length here is CD, then if it's half the size of the larger one, that means the larger one is twice the size of the smaller one. So we can go ahead and label AB as 2X. Okay, we have no actual values for the lengths of any of these sides. So the only way that you could actually give a value for the angle, the measure of the angle, is if it was a special triangle. Yeah, so that means that this triangle right here is either a 45, 45, 90, or it's a 30, 60, 90. So how do you know? Well, you know because of the relationship. Yes, if you have a side length that is half of the hypotenuse, or if you have a hypotenuse who is twice the side of a side length, then you know you have a 30, 60, 90. A 30, 60, 90 triangle has ratios of sides that go 1 to square root of 3 to 2. So that means that the ratio of the 30-degree side, opposite the 30-degree angle, is going to be half the size of the hypotenuse, or the hypotenuse is twice. And then the 60-degree side, which in this case would be right here, is going to be the square root of 3 times this. Well, why does that help us? Because if I know that this guy is the 30 and I know that this angle is the 90, then I know that that angle up there is the 60. And so that means that the measure of angle B is 150, because it is 90 plus 60. All right, happy practicing.